Hello viewers, today's video will be a little different in the fact that I won't be talking about movies or video games. Instead, I want to talk about studying, particularly the habits that I actively use to keep myself on track as a self-teaching college student. Now what do I mean by self-teaching? I mean, instead of going to a college, I'm finding courses online from various sources and using those to help me get my education in business and video editing. Now, as COVID-19 showed us, keeping yourself on track while sitting at home is rather difficult. And now on top of that, I'm trying to run a YouTube channel. Granted, it isn't all that big yet, but producing content every week and making it all by yourself can be time-consuming. So I figured I'd show my top 10 tricks that I know have boosted my productivity and motivation when studying. Let's get into it. The first tip is getting up early. Now I know this one won't be for everyone, not by a long shot. Some of you might even be night owls, and this doesn't apply to you. So if you're not interested in this tip, just skip to this timestamp you see on screen. Don't worry, I won't judge. Anyway, I get up at 4 o'clock every single morning. Yes, this includes weekends. The reason I do this is because I feel like I'm getting a jump start on the day, as well as the fact that I feel more mentally fresh. The other perk is that the dark, quiet atmosphere makes studying a lot cozier and aesthetic to me. You don't have to get up as early as I do though. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and even 8 o'clock are still good times to get up at, and they're a lot easier too. Up next, tip number 2. Use physical, no-line notebooks. I've tried note-taking a number of ways, on my laptop, in lined notebooks, pens, pencils, but the best thing that I've found is actually using art books or other line-free journals. As you can see here, I use a more classic style of note-taking for learning Korean and Russian. But here, with my business class notes, they're especially creative and not really all that classic. Still though, I have the freedom to write down everything I need, not being hindered by lines at all. Now unfortunately, I do break this rule with my video editing notebook, as you can see. But that's just because it was a notebook I had left over and I didn't have anything else on me at the time. The other thing you'll notice is that I use pen for all my note taking, not pencil. I used to be an advocate for pencil over pen since you can erase it, but unless you're an elementary student or doing math work, I feel like it's pretty safe to use pen, especially if it's your own notes and not something that you're submitting to your teacher. Next is tip number 3. Make a journal. Yes, if you haven't noticed, I like pen and paper for a lot of stuff. However, yours doesn't have to be. A digital journal is fine too. In total, I use 3 journals. However, you'll most likely only need this one, a bullet journal. This is where I keep my schedule, what I eat, and my progress meter on everything I'm working on. Occasionally, I'll even write down a special thing that happened to me on a sticky note and stick it on one of the pages. Essentially, this is my brain on paper, or on your computer if you're more digital inclined. I find it keeps me focused on what I'm doing instead of the thing that I gotta do at 4 o'clock. Make sense? Now, if you're a creative person who likes to write or create videos like I do, I carry an extra 2 journals for that as well. This one here is for YouTube stuff, and this one here is for book ideas. And if you look closely enough and pause the video, you might even catch a glimpse of what I'm thinking about. I am actually, however, thinking about using just one journal for both, since you can restock the pages in this one, but we'll see. Anyway, moving on to tip number 4. Don't listen to music with lyrics while you study. Especially if the lyrics are in the language that you can understand fully, you'll be too distracted by listening and not focused on what you're doing. However, the few exceptions to this is that I found when I was doing math homework or other grunt work type stuff like writing down definitions and whatnot. But if you need to do something that requires reading comprehension and 100% focus, stick to instrumentals, lo-fi, or just background noise. Now, I'm also a K-pop fan, and I've found that listening to either BTS or Stray Kids while doing stuff isn't as bad as listening to music in English, but I still can get wrapped up in the lyrics if I've listened to the song long enough. So again, I usually just stay away from it when I'm doing more study type stuff. Tip number 5. Use the Pomodoro method. Now, if you watch a lot of self-help study videos, this tip is almost definitely on there. But that's just because it's true. In case you're one of those few people who still don't know what this method of study is, it's where you work anywhere from 25 minutes to 50 minutes, and then rest for 5 to 15 minutes accordingly. Doing this helps your brain relax and prevent burnout after trying to study for 3 to 5 hours straight. You can just use a timer for this if you want, but there are also tons of videos right here on YouTube that are study-along videos, with a built-in timer, lo-fi, instrumental K-pop music, and even atmosphere sounds like rain or a city street. I'll put some links below for the favorite videos that I use. Tip number 6. Make your desk/workspace a place you want to be in. Now, I don't just mean keep it clean and organized. Yes, that's always a good rule, but adding little figures or cards, books, or whatever else you like to display on your desk is a good way to keep you there. In my case, I have this setup right here, see? My desk is clean, but I managed to keep enough little things on it that it still feels personalized and fun to sit at. For many hours on end, I might add. Tip number 7. This ties in really well with tip number 6. Make your home page of your desktop and of Google a custom-made wallpaper of what you like and aspire to be. This is what mine looks like. It's simple really. Just go on Pinterest and download a ton of pictures of what you like or want to be. Then arrange them nicely in Paint, Photoshop, or whatever drawing app you have available to you, and voila! A nice personalized wallpaper to keep you motivated every single day. Tip number 8. Make a 4 to 6 year calendar with goals. The reason I suggest this is twofold. One is that physically writing down your goals helps remind you of what you want to do. Second, the calendar physically shows you how much time you are or aren't using to pursue those goals. It doesn't have to be amazing. See, this is what my 4-year calendar looks like, and then my goals are on the back of each year. Now, keep in mind that you should keep your goals realistic. We don't want the New Year's resolution situation of buying a gym membership but then quitting after a week because you didn't get the results you wanted. Really think and research how possible it is to reach your goals within the time you want, and then just go from there. Tip number 9. Get a desk you can stand at. This might sound a little strange, but as a person stuck doing her studies in a room for roughly 6 hours a day, sitting the entire time can get uncomfortable. So what I did was I readjusted my desk so that it's in a position that I can stand at. And luckily the stool that came with it was also tall enough where I could still sit when I wanted to. Another reason why I recommend this is that you burn slightly more calories standing than while sitting. So it's almost like an effortless mini workout while you're stuck doing work. Finally, tip number 10. Keep water or some type of drink nearby at all times. When I'm working for long amounts of time, I find that I'm prone to stay locked into whatever I'm doing and not bother to get up and hydrate myself. This hurts me later on as dehydration can cause you to become tired. So I like to keep a water bottle or a cup like this nearby so I always have something easy to reach for while doing stuff. And that's it. The 10 tips I've found that have really boosted my productivity and motivation. I hope these tips can be useful for you. If you do like any of these tips, let me know down in the comments. Or if you have any other tips to add, also let me know. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye!